Assalamu alaikum and good day everyone. I am Nasser Shamila, a grade 10 student from room 94. Today I will be discussing about the introduction of German epic. The introduction to German epic. With the fall of Rome, Europe slipped backward almost into savagery. Here and there were great men, saints and mystics. But the mass of the people were helpless both against nature, against the oppressors, the raiding savages, the roaming criminals, and the domineering nobles. Europe returned to its former state where violence and cruelty is rampant, which means uncontrolled. Many Europeans are helpless in the disaster they face against those who persecute them, to the untamed invaders, the mender criminals, and the intimidating nobles. The very physical aspect of Europe was repellent, a continent of ruins and forests dotted with rude forts, miserable villages, tiny scattered towns joined by a few rough roads between which lay backwards areas where the inhabitants were really as savage as those inhabiting Central Africa. The very bodily continent of Europe is repulsive. The status of Europe is very far from its states now. There were many damaged establishments, as well as forests, poor housing, and roads. These dark ages gave way to the Middle Ages, representing the gradual but steady and laborious progress of civilization. Little by little, the darkness lifted. The Greco-Roman civilization began to reassert itself. Roman civilization and culture has not completely perished. The Dark Age gave way to the Middle Ages, where civilization emerged until the Dark Age disappeared completely in Europe. This is where the Greco-Roman civilization began, where the Roman civilization did not disappear completely during the Dark Ages of Europe. How much of it survived? Very little. Very few only survived the civilization before the Middle Age. Through what channels did it survive? It survived in the Christian church in the monasteries. From very humble beginnings, the church was rising into power and authority. Practically all intellectual pursuits and activities took place in the monasteries. This was with the help of a Christian church in the monasteries. The Christian church had power and authority in Rome. All the intellectual trailing and activities were carried out in monasteries. Much of the progress of Middle Age was educational. Universalities appeared like beacons being lighted one by one after a blackout. The progress of Middle Age was centered on education. Many universities was built for the Romans to be educated. The University of Salerno was the first, rapidly followed by the universities of Bologna, Paris, Oxford, Cambridge, Salamanca, and Heidelberg. At the same time, standards of scholarship rose in certain monastic orders. The learning and aesthetic sensibility that still survived were preserved in the monastery. The first university to be built was the University of Salerno, which was followed by the universities of Bologna, Paris, Oxford, Cambridge, Salamanca, and Heidelberg, where the method of teaching in universities is derived from the method of teaching in monasteries.